The hook tore through the still air like a scream, yanking me back from the edge of the dock, just as the lake below seemed ready to swallow us both. Jake's hand clamped onto my shoulder, his grip iron-tight, breath ragged against my ear. "Sawyer, I can't pretend, Anna Marie, it's you. It's always been you." In that frozen heartbeat, with the rod splintering in his fist and the water churning black beneath us, I realized our friendship had been a dam holding back a flood. And now it was breaking, threatening to drown us in truths we'd both buried deep. I remember the drive up to Willow Lake that crisp October morning. The kind of autumn day in upstate New York where the leaves blaze like they're burning secrets into the sky. Jake had texted me the night before. His message casual as ever: "Fishing tomorrow. Need to clear my head." We'd been best friends since freshman year at SUNY Cortland, small-town kids navigating college chaos. Him the golden boy quarterback with a laugh that filled rooms. Me the quiet art major sketching shadows no one else saw. At 25, I was still figuring out how to wear my queerness like a second skin. Out to a few close folks, but never to him. Never risking the one anchor in my stormy life. Jake. Straight as the arrow he wasn't. Or so I thought. With his string of ex-girlfriends and easy charm. Was the brother I never had. Or so I believed. The truck rattled over potholes on Route 17. Jake's old Ford pickup smelling of pine air freshener and faint weed from last weekend's hike. He cranked the radio. Some classic rock station belting out Springsteen. And drummed the wheel like nothing was wrong. But I caught the way his knee bounced. The quick glances he stole when he thought I wasn't looking. "You good, man?" I asked, popping a sunflower seed between my teeth. He flashed that grin. All teeth and deflection. "Yeah. Just. Life's kicking my ass. Coaching gig at the high school. Dad on my case about settling down. You know." I nodded, staring out at the rolling hills dotted with farmhouses. The America that raised us both hardworking. Unyielding. Whispering that love should fit neat boxes. Mine never had. We pulled into the gravel lot at Willow Lake State Park around 7 a.m. The fog hugging the water like a lover reluctant to let go. The place was our ritual spot. A hidden cove away from the weekend crowds. Where the bass bit fierce and the world felt small. I grabbed the tackle box from the bed. The weight familiar. Grounding. Jake slung the cooler over his shoulder. Ice clinking with the promise of beers later. "Race you to the dock," he called, already jogging ahead, his boots thudding on the dew-slick path. I laughed, chasing him, the cold air sharpening my lungs, pushing away the nagging ache in my chest, the one that flared every time he slung an arm around me. Casual but electric. By the time we baited our lines, the sun cracked the horizon, painting the lake in strokes of pink and gold. I cast first, the lure slicing clean through the mist, plopping soft into the depths. Jake watched, rod idle in his lap. "Remember that time sophomore year, when we skipped chem to come here?" he said, voice low, like he was testing the water himself. I reeled slow, feeling the tug of memory. "Yeah, you hooked that monster pike. Nearly dragged you in. I had to fish you out like a drowned rat." He chuckled, but it died quick, his eyes fixed on the ripples. "You always save me, Sawyer. Every damn time." We fished in that companionable silence for an hour. The only sounds the lap of waves and occasional splash of a jumping trout. My mind wandered to the sketches in my notebook back home, half-formed portraits of Jake. Lines blurring where friendship edged into something sharper. Forbidden. I dated a guy last year. Quiet dinners in Syracuse. But it fizzled. No one lit that fire like Jake's offhand touch. He reeled in a small-mouth bass then, whooping as it thrashed. And I netted it for him. Our hands brushing wet and cold. "Teamwork," he said, holding my gaze a beat too long. My heart stuttered. But I played it cool, gutting the fish with practiced flicks of the knife. Lunch was sandwiches from the cooler, ham and cheese on rye, washed down with IPAs that warmed us against the chill. We leaned back on the dock, legs dangling over the edge, the wood creaking under our weight. Jake cracked his second beer, staring out at the far shore where a heron stalked the shallows. You ever think about what if? He asked, voice barely above the wind. I froze, sandwich halfway to my mouth. What if what? He shrugged, but his shoulders stayed tense. You know, life. Us. If things were different. The words hung heavy, like storm clouds gathering. I wanted to push, to crack him open, but fear clamped my throat. Instead, I joked, if you weren't such a slob, maybe we'd room together again. He laughed, but it was hollow. And when he stood to cast again, his hand lingered on my knee just a second, but enough to send heat racing through me. The afternoon dragged lazy, lines taut with half-hearted pulls, but the real tension built in the unsaid. Jake grew quieter, his cast erratic, lures snagging weeds. I watched him from the corner of my eye, the furrow in his brow, the way he chewed his lip like when we were kids facing bullies. Back in Elmira, we'd grown up blocks apart, trading comic books and dreams of escaping our Rust Belt town. He was the straight-A athlete. I was the dreamer with paint under my nails. High school crushes for me were stolen glances in the locker room. For him, homecoming queens. But college changed things, late night studying. His breakup with Sarah hitting hard. Me holding him as he sobbed. Our bodies close in the dark. I'd pulled away then, terrified of what my heart whispered. As shadows lengthened, the bite slowed, and we packed up slow, reluctant. One more cast, Jake said, voice rough. I nodded, settling beside him. The sun dipped low, turning the lake to molten copper. That's when it happened, the monster hit. A beast from the depths, line screaming off the reel. Jake fought it, muscles straining, feet slipping on the slick dock. Holy shit. Sawyer, help. I lunged, grabbing the rod, our hands overlapping in frenzy. The fish surged, wood groaning, and in the chaos, Jake slipped, teetering toward the black water. Time slowed. I yanked him back, hook flying wild, embedding in the railing with a crack. We collapsed together, panting, his face inches from mine, eyes wild with adrenaline and something deeper. Raw. That's when he said it. Sawyer, I can't pretend, Anna Marie, it's you. It's always been you. The words crashed over me, louder than the waves. My mind reeled straight. Jake. My rock. Confessing. What? What do you mean? I whispered, heart hammering. He pulled back, face crumpling, tears streaking dirt on his cheeks. I've been lying to everyone. To myself. The girls. The denial, it's all bullshit. I love you. Man. Not like brothers. Like God. Like I can't breathe without you. The dock spun, the lake mocking us with its calm. I dreamed this, sketched it in fevered nights. But hearing Ithis' voice breaking, hands trembling, it shattered me. Joy warred with terror. What now? Our worlds colliding. Small-town judgments waiting to crush us. I didn't speak at first, just held him as sobs racked his frame. The fish forgotten, line slack in the water. Jake. I finally managed. Voice thick. I felt it too. For years. But you're straight. Or I thought. He laughed bitter, wiping his face. So did I? Till it hit me last month. Watching you laugh at that bar in Ithaca. You're everything. Sawyer. Brave. Real. I want to be that with you. We sat there as dusk fell, stars pricking the sky, his head on my shoulder. It was terrifying. exhilarating the dam broken, flood rushing. But whispers of doubt crept in, his family, the team, the life he'd built on lies. Mine too coming out fully, risking the art world that still sidelined queerness. We drove back in silence mostly, hands brushing on the gear shift. Electric. At my apartment in Cortland. He lingered in the doorway, eyes searching. "What now?" he asked. I pulled him in, door clicking shut, and kissed him soft at first, then desperate, years of longing pouring out. He tasted like salt and beer, hands fisting my shirt. We tumbled to the couch, exploring tentative, bodies remembering what hearts had known. It was messy, perfect whispers of "I love you" against skin, the world outside fading. But dawn brought reality. Jake's phone buzzed his dad, checking in. He silenced it, face paling. "I gotta tell them. Can't hide." I nodded, fear knotting my gut. We met for coffee that week, planning, but tension simmered. His coaching job rumors flew fast in small towns. My gallery show loomed, pieces infused with this new truth. Then the call came, his ex, Sarah, texting accusations, piecing together bar nights. "She's coming over," he said, voice hollow. I paced as she arrived, her eyes red, words sharp. "Is it true?" "Him," Jake confessed, gentle but firm. She stormed out, but not before hurling. "You're ruining everything." The backlash hit like a storm. Jake's dad showed up at practice, face thunder, Bible quotes flying. "This ain't right. Son, fix it." Teammates whispered. Parents pulled kids from lessons. I faced my own mom's worried calls from Elmira. "Sawyer, honey, are you safe?" Art friends rallied, but rejection stung from old classmates online, slurs and DMs. Freak show. We clung tighter. Stolen nights in my studio, painting him nude by candlelight, his body a canvas of freckles and scars. Romance bloomed fierce picnics by the lake, hands laced under quilts, whispers of futures moving to Brooklyn. Him coaching queer youth, me exhibiting bold. Yet drama escalated. A local paper sniffed the story, coach's secret shocker, photos grainy. Us at the bar. Protests outside the school. Signs waving hate. Jake resigned. Gutted. But we fought back, a podcast interview. Voices steady. Sharing the confession by the water. "Love doesn't care for labels," he said, my hand in his under the table. Supporters emerged, families sharing stories. Rainbows and windows. Climax crashed one stormy night. Jake's brother, straight-laced cop, confronted us at the lake. Fists clenched. "You're poison, Sawyer." Words flew. Then blows, Jake shielding me. Blood on the dock. I swung back, heart raging, until cops, his colleagues, pulled us apart. In the aftermath, hospital lights harsh. Jake's dad arrived, not with anger, but tears. "I was wrong. Saw you too." It's real. Forgiveness trickled, slow but healing. Months blurred, therapy sessions. Pride marches in Albany. Our love deepening. Jake proposed by the lake. Ring simple silver. On one knee. "Fish with me forever." Tears, yes. Echoes of that confession rippling still. Now, a year on, we teach art and coach together in a progressive Ithaca school. Home a cozy cabin overlooking willows. The water whispers lessons, truths surface. Loves endure. That hook scar on the dock. Our talisman. Jake's laugh fills rooms. My sketches capture us whole. In America's heart, we carved our space flawed. Fierce. Forever. The rain started as we left the dock that first night. Fat drops smacking the truck's windshield like accusations. Jake drove with white knuckles on the wheel, his confession hanging between us thicker than the humidity. I'd pulled him into that kiss back at my place, tasting the salt of his tears mixed with the thrill of finally. But now, in the cab's dim glow, doubt crept in like fog off the lake. What if this ruins us? I murmured, tracing the seam of the seat. He glanced over, eyes fierce. It already was ruined. Sawyer. Hiding. This is us. His hand found mine. Calluses rough from football grips. Now promising more. We didn't let go until my building's lights flickered into view. Sleep evaded me that night. Sheets tangled as I replayed the pull of that fish. The slip. His words crashing like waves. At 25, I'd kissed guys in college parties. Fumbled in dorm shadows. But nothing like this Jake. The straight friend who'd been my constant. Now unraveling into something beautifully queer. I texted him at 3 a.m. Still echoing. His reply buzzed instant. Good. Means it's real. Breakfast. Morning found us at the diner on Main. Eggs over easy and coffee black. Stealing touches under the Formica table. His knee pressed mine. Deliberate. Sending sparks. Tell me everything. I said. Ford paused. He leaned in. Voice low over the sizzle of bacon. Started last summer. Your birthday hike. You stripped to swim. Laughing. And something shifted. Couldn't look away. Tried dating that girl from the gym disaster. All I saw was you. We laughed about it. Tentative. But the world intruded quick. His phone lit up Sarah. His ex from college. The one who'd ghosted him after graduation. Saw you two at the bar last week. What's going on? Jake's face drained. He showed me the thread. Her jealousy laced with hurt. She's gonna blow this up. He groaned. I squeezed his hand. Let her. We're not hiding. But fear not me job at the Community Arts Center. Fragile freelance gigs. His coaching spot at Elmira High. Where tradition trumped tolerance. We vowed honesty. But as days blurred, cracks showed. Jake pulled away during a team barbecue. Laughing too loud at dad jokes. Avoiding my eyes across the grill smoke. Not here. He whispered later. Guilt etching lines on his face. I threw myself into painting. Canvas after canvas of turbulent waters. Figures entwined in mistus. Abstracted but aching. Friends noticed. My roommate, Lena, a by firebrand, cornered me over wine. Spill. Sawyer. You're glowing and wrecked. I confessed the fishing trip. His words by the water. She hugged me fierce. About time. But brace straight passing guys coming out. It's a minefield. She was right. Jake's first slip came at practice. A parent overheard him on the phone. My name's soft in his tone. Whispers spread like fire through dry grass. Coach got a boyfriend. Locker room snickers turning to stares. We escaped to the lake again. Midweek. Under gray skies, threatening snow. No rods this time, just blankets and thermoses of soup. Sitting close as wind whipped the pines. I told my sister. He said, burrowing into my side. She cried. Then hugged me. Said she always wondered. Warmth bloomed in my chest. But he continued. Voice cracking. Dad. He's old school. Church every Sunday. What if he disowns me? I turned his face to mine. Thumbs brushing stubble. Then he loses the best son. You're brave. Jake. Braver than me. We kissed slow. The world narrowing to his lips. Hands roaming under layers. Heat building against the cold. It was our first real time. There on the shore, clothes shed hasty. Bodies urgent. The lake witnessing as we claimed what we'd denied. Gasps mingled with waves. His touch reverent. Mine devouring. Afterward. Wrapped in wool. He murmured. I love you. Unprompted. Echoes. Indeed. But the storm broke harder. Sarah posted on Linea blurry photo from the bar. Caption Venom, betrayed by my ex and his bestie. Small town secrets. Shares exploded. Comments a cesspool, disgusting. Pray for them. Jake's phone rang nonstop. He smashed it against the wall. Shards scattering like our fragile peace. Fuck this. He roared, pacing my apartment. I pulled him down, holding tight. We fight. Together. That night, we drafted a response simple. Raw. Love isn't betrayal. It's truth. We're figuring it out. Posted it. Hearts pounding. The fallout was swift. School called Jake in principal's office sterile. Eyes averted. Parental complaints. Suspension pending investigation. He came home shattered, collapsing into my arms. I cooked pasta. Lit candles. But grief choked us. What if I lose everything? He whispered. I stroked his hair. You have me. We'll build new. My own world tilted. A client canceled a mural gig. Muttering distractions. Lena rallied Ali Issa queer support group in Syracuse, where we drove that weekend, sharing stories under rainbow banners. Jake spoke halting, voice gaining strength, by the water. It all poured out. Scariest. Best thing ever. Applause thundered. For the first time, I saw him homie Jake. Queer and unashamed. Romance wove through the pain. Tender threads. We danced in the kitchen to old Motown. His hands on my hips. Weekend drives to Niagara. Mist cloaking our kisses. But tension peaked when his dad showed unannounced. Bible in hand. Face carved with disappointment. Son. This phase ended. Jake stood tall. Me beside him. Not a phase. Dad. It's me. And Sawyer's part of that. Words flew. Accusations of sin. But Jake held firm. Love's not sin. Hiding was. Dad left storming. Door slamming. But a seed planted doubt in his eyes. Winter deepened. Snow blanketing the lake. Our love afire against the cold. We skated hand in hand. Fell laughing into drifts. New Year's. Fireworks over the falls. His promise, this year. All in. But drama lurked. Sarah's harassment escalated. Voicemails laced with threats. I'll tell everyone your dirty secrets. We blocked her. But fear lingered. Then, the real blow, Jake's brother, Tom, a cop in town, pulled him over routine check. Words slurring slurs. Keep that fag away from family. Jake called me sobbing from the roadside. Cruiser lights flashing red-blue hell. I raced there. Tires spinning ice. Arriving to fists clenched. Tom loomed. Badge gleaming. Stay out. Artist boy. Jake shoved between us. He's family. You're not if you can't see that. It nearly turned ugly shouts echoing empty streets until a passerby called it in. Diffused. But scars fresh. Back home. Bandaging Jake's knuckles. I vowed. We'll leave if we must. He nodded. Fierce. To hell with them. With you. Anywhere. Spring thawed the lake. And us. Jake found interim work personal training at a queer-friendly gym in Binghamton. I sold a series. Echoes by water. Galleries buzzing. Pride in June, we marched. Rainbows on sleeves. His hand in mine public. Proud. Dad attended. Silent at first. Then a gruff hug. Proud of you. Son. Both. Healing. Incremental. Yet the gay can peak that July. Sarah crashed a gallery opening. Drunk. Screaming accusations. He's using you. Security dragged her out. But flashes popped. Headlines tomorrow. We fled to the lake. Storm raging. Thunder cracking like hearts breaking. There. Soaked. Jake dropped to knee, not proposal. But plea. Run with me. Build our life. Tears mixed rain. Yes. Summer heat baked the asphalt as we packed the truck for our first real Escapia road trip down the eastern seaboard, chasing coastlines to outrun the echoes. Jake's suspension lifted on a technicality, but the school's vibe had soured. Whispers followed him like shadows. "Let's just go?" he'd say, loading coolers with sandwiches and dreams. At 26 now, he wore his queerness like a New Jersey subtle rainbow pin on his cap. Easy affection in public. Me. The confession still hummed in my veins, fueling bolder strokes on canvas. Galleries in NYC sniffing closer. But Sarah's outburst at the opening lingered. Her face twisted in betrayal splashed across local feeds. Fame whore. Trolls typed. We ignored. But it stung love weaponized. Our route hugged I-95. First stop Asbury Park. Jersey Shore where Springsteen ghosts roamed boardwalks. We rented a cheap motel. Salt air thick. Waves crashing like applause. That night, bodies slick with sweat and sea. We made love urgent on threadbare sheets, his mouth mapping my scars. Mine worshipping the breadth of him. "You're my anchor," he breathed. Fingers laced. Dawn walks. Hands swinging. We talked futures, him studying sports psych for queer athletes. Me teaching workshops on authentic art. "No more hiding," I said, kissing salt from his neck. He grinned. "Boyish. Deal. But first, lobster rolls." Further south, Virginia Beach brought family ghosts. Jake's aunt lived nearby, the one who'd texted support post coming out. Dinner was tense, her husband silent. Eyes judgmental over roast chicken. Heard about the drama. He grunted. Jake met it head on. "Yeah. Love's dramatic. Worth it." I squeezed his thigh under the table. Pride swelling. Later. On the beach. Bonfire crackling. Aunt pulled me aside. "He's happier." "Thank you." Tears pricked. Validation. Rare and sweet. But kitsch tin brewed in the Carolinas. A flat tire on a back road near Myrtle Beach. Rain pounding. Left us stranded. AAA delayed hours. We hunkered in the cab. Laughing at first. Then deeper sharing boyhood hurts. First crush was the neighbor kid. Jake admitted. Voice soft. Kissed behind the garage. Dad caught us wrestling. Beat the confusion out of me. My chest ached. "Mine was you. Idiot. Freshman mixer. You danced with that girl. I sketched you instead." Laughter turned to kisses. Fogging windows. Until headlights pierced tow truck. Gruff driver eyeing our closeness. "You boys okay?" Wary. But kind. "Never better," Jake said. Arm around me. Charleston charmed us next. Historic streets whispering old love's queer history in hidden alleys. Plantation's shadows a reminder of America's fractured heart. We toured Rainbow Row. Hands brushing. Imagining our house someday. Porch swing. Dog sprawled. But a bar crawl soured when locals overheard our accents. Slinging Yankee fags. Jake bristled. Fists balling. I pulled him out. Heart racing. Not worth it. In our room. Anger melted to passion rougher. Reclaiming. They don't get us. He growled. Pinning me. We do. Florida's panhandle tested us, humidity thick as doubt. Jake's phone buzzed. Dad. Post-reconciliation. Inviting us to a family barbecue. Test run. He asked. Hopeful. We detoured to Elmira early. Truck loaded with pies. The backyard buzzed cousins. Aunts. Grill smoke veiling tension. Dad clapped Jake's back. Awkward but genuine. Good to see you, son. And Sawyer. Hugs exchanged. Tentative. Tom, the brother, hung back, beer in hand, but nodded thaw beginning. Stories flowed. Laughter easing old wounds. Proud. Dad said quiet to me later. Eyes wet. For making him strong. I choked up. Family. Reclaimed. Back on the road. Savannah's oaks draped in moss mirrored our tangled paths. We volunteered at a queer youth center. Jake coaching soccer. Me leading drawing circles. Kids' eyes lit mirrors of our younger selves. Scared but sparkling. One boy, 14, whispered to me, "Your story. It gives hope." Jake overheard, pulling me close after, "We're doing this. Changing it." Romance peaked their river cruise at sunset. His head on my shoulder. City lights dancing. "Marry me someday," he murmured. "When we're ready." But Gaken crested in DC National Mall. Monuments stern. Protests raged nearby. Anti-LGBTQ bills in Congress fueling hate marches. We joined a counter-rally. Signs high, love wins. Chants thundered. But scuffles broke, tear gas canisters rolling. Crowds surging. Jake shielded me, arm linked tight. As chaos swirled. "Stay close." A bottle flew, shattering near. We ran, lungs burning, to a safe cafe. Shaken, we held each other. News blaring worse. "World still fighting," he said, voice raw. "But so are we." Homeward bound. The lake called. Willows shimmered welcoming. Autumn leaves turning again. We fished. Lines lazy. His confessions echo softer now. Woven into peace. Echoes make music, I said, reeling him in for a kiss. Life's kitchen losses. Love humanity's core, connection over conformity. Fall deepened. Leaves carpeting the path to Willow Lake like confetti from a half-remembered party. Back in Cortland. Our road trip's glow lingered. But reality nipped. Jake's coaching return met with side eyes from staff. Parents opting out for values. He powered through. Drills sharp. But evenings found him drained. Collapsing into my lap with a sigh. "Worth it?" he'd ask. Vulnerability cracking his armor. I'd trace his jaw. Whispering. Every scar. At 25. My art surged a solo show in Syracuse. Waters within. Pieces born of our story, tangled lines. Submerged figures emerging. Critics praised the raw emotional depth. But one review stung, intimate. Yet risks sentimentality in queer narratives. I crumpled it. Jake unfolding me later with gentle hands. Body speaking what words fumbled. We built routines. Romantic anchors in chaos. Mornings, coffee shared on the fire escape. His lips on my neck as steam curled. Afternoons, him at practice. Me sketching in the park. Stealing glances at passers-by, couples like us. Defiantly tender. Nights, cooking disasters turned feasts. Wine loosening tongues for dreams. Adopt someday. He mused over pasta. Fork twirling. Teach him to fish. Love fierce. My heart swelled. Fatherhood. Once distant. Now vivid with his blonde chaos in mini form. But drama simmered. Sarah resurfaced email to the gallery. Exposed the truth, he's confused. Using Sawyer for attention. My blood boiled. I forwarded to our lawyer friend. A cease and desist drafted swift. She replied, unhinged. But backed off. Tail between legs. Bigger threat, the school board hearing. Parents petitioning Jake's ouster. We prepped nights. Scripts rehearsed by lamplight. Speak from the heart. I coached. Pacing. He nodded. But sweat beaded. The room was packed, faces hostile. A few allies nodding. Jake stood. Voice steady. I'm the same coach, better. Even. Love doesn't change that. It makes me whole. Questions pelted. Slanted. But he held. Quoting stats on inclusive teams thriving. Board ruled neutral probation. But retained. We celebrated in the truck. Windows down. His whoop echoing as I drove us to the lake. Winter holidays loomed. Fraught. Elmira called Thanksgiving at Dad's. Full family test. We arrived cautious. Pie in hand. Tom greeting stiff but civil. Table tension hummed over turkey. But wine softened edges. Auntie's probe gentle. How'd you know? Jake shared the fishing hook. Laughter rippling as he mimed the slip. Dad listened. Then, took guts. Like when I came back from Nam. Vulnerability traded. Bonds mending. Tom pulled Jake aside later. Gruff, sorry. Bro. Learning. Hugs all around. I teared up in the kitchen. Mom's embrace warm. Family's family. She said. Christmas followed. Our first share tree trimmed with lake stones. Gifts wrapped in newsprint. He gave me a locket, tiny photo of us by water. Echoes forever. Mine, custom rod. Engraved hook. Line. Sinker. New Year brought opportunity. Jake interviewed for a position at Ithaca College. Sports inclusion program. Perfect. He said. Suit crisp. I waited in the cafe. Sketching nerves away. When he burst in grinning. Offered it. Hugs spilled coffee. We danced the street. Snowflakes confetti. But joy shadowed, my ex from last year. Mark. Emailed congrats sting jealousy. Heard about your muse. Careful. Straight boys break hearts. I deleted. But doubt whispered. Confronted Jake over dinner. Ever regret? He cupped my face. Eyes fierce. Only not sooner. Love-making followed. Slow worship his body arching under mine. Gasps prayers. Spring swelled with life buds on willows. My show traveling to NYC. We sublet. City pulse intoxicating, galleries. Queer bars pulsing with possibility. One night. Rooftop party. He danced with abandon. Hands on my waist. World blurring. This is us. He yelled over bass. But dawn brought hangover truth. A call from Tom. Dad sick. Heart scare. We raced back. Hospital sterile fear. Vigil in the room. Dad weak, but lucid, boys. Glad you're here. Love you both. He recovered slow. Us nursing soups. Stories. Healing deepened. Dad attended our first couples counseling. Awkward but earnest. Communication. The therapist urged. We learned. Jake's fear of abandonment from Dad's rages. My walls from high school taunts. Summer heatwave tested protests flared again. National bills slashing trans rights. Ripples hitting us. Jake volunteered with advocacy. Rallies draining him. I captured it in murals, communal walls in town. Colors defiant. Drama peaked at a fundraiser. Hecklers crashed. Slurs flying. Jake shielded a trans teen. Scuffle ensuing, cuffs on wrists. Night in holding. I bailed him. Fury and fear churning. Hero. I said. Kissing bruises. He shrugged. Had to. That night. By the lake. Storm electric. He proposed propering glinting wet. Marry me. Sawyer. Make echoes vows. Kneeling in mud. Yes, tore free. Stars witnessed. Water lapping blessings. Wedding whispers began casual eloping to the keys. Big bash in Ithaca. We dreamed over lake picnics. Fingers tracing rings promise. At 26. Jake bloomed into advocacy. His podcast, Straight to Truth, gaining traction, confessions from others like him. Bylines in queer mags. Me. The NYC show sold out. Collectors bidding on confessions pull. Critics lauded, a testament to love's quiet revolutions. But fame's double-edged cut stalkers in comments. Fake story for clout. We moderated. Focused on us, pottery classes. His throws lopsided. My glazes vibrant. Hikes where he'd carry me piggyback. Laughter echoing. Family wove tighter. Dad. Healthier. Hosted barbecues. Tom, bringing boyfriend now. Out and proud. Birds of a feather. He'd joke. Beers clinking. Mom and I baked. Secrets shared. Her own college flirtations with a roommate. Buried for convention. Live loud. Baby. Jake's aunt sent quilt squares. Stories stitched in. Holidays harmonized. Toasts to found families. Yet Kitch Tin stirred nationally Supreme Court whispers on marriage equality challenges. Old wounds reopening. We joined DC marches again. Signs bold. Echoes unsilenced. Crowds surged. Unity electric. But a counter-protest turned violent trucks flying. Medics rushing. Jake took a graze to the arm. Blood-blooming shirt. I patched him in an alley. Tears hot. Not stopping. He gritted. For them. Back home. Infection set in fever dreams where he slipped into the lake again. Me diving after. He woke sweating. You're my life vest. Recovery bonded us deeper. Scars badges. Romance flowered in quiet anniversary at Willow. Tent pitched. Stars canopy. We made love under canvas. Slow and sacred. His whispers vows preview. Till echoes fade. But drama domestic. Apartment flood from upstairs leak. Chaos of soaked canvases. His coaching gear ruined. Insurance fights drained. We couch surfed Lena's. Laughs over wine masking stress. Adversity's foreplay. He quipped. Pulling me close amid boxes. Career leaps. Jake's program at Ithaca funded. Youth camp launched. Fish for futures. Blending sports and identity talks by the lake. Kids arrived wary. Left empowered one girl. Non-binary. Hugged him, you get it. Tears in his eyes. Calling me. This is why. My grant came residency in Provincetown. Queer art haven. Go? He urged. I'll visit weekends. Separation tested nights lonely. Calls laced longing. He drove up. Storms raging. Us tangled in dune shacks. Salt wind howling. Miss your chaos. I murmured. Miss your calm. He replied. Fall brought proposals, fruit planning, small wedding. Lakeside. 50 guests. Invites hand calligraphed. Menus trout and salads. But Sarah's ghost resurfaced letter to the paper. Victim of their deception. Editor spiked it. But poison spread. Wedding eve. Doubts assailed Jake. What if they protest? I held him. Our day? Our echoes. Ceremony donned golden dock adorned wildflowers. Dad walking him down. Tom best man. Vows raw. By this water. I confess again you re my heart. Rings exchanged. Kiss ceiling. Cheers rippling. Reception danced till stars wheeled. Toasts human. Love's lost. Found. Honeymoon in main cabins. Lobster boils. Seals barking approval. We hiked Acadia. Hands clasped. Future's vast. Kids. He asked. Bluff overlooking sea. Surrogacy. Adoption yes. Back. Life layered. His book deal on coming out. My exhibits touring. Challenges lingered bills. Bigot neighbors but love's kitsch tin mellowed to warmth. Values etched. Acceptance. Courage. Years on. Echoes soft lullabies her son. Adopted at 3. Casting lines with us. Curls like Jake's. Daddy. Tell the fish story. Laughter by water. Humanity's gift. Stories shared. Hearts open. Parenthood crashed in like a rogue wave. Thrilling and terrifying. Little Finn arrived from foster care. Wide-eyed at 3. Clutching a stuffed troutweed scent. Home. Jake said. Buckling him in. Voice thick. Our cabin in Ithaca bought post-wedding. Porch overlooking a pond welcomed him with chaos. Toys scattering. Midnight wakings. At 28. I juggled exhibits with diaper dashes. Jake's camp expanded. Summers full of kids like Finn. Once scared. Now bold. Papa. Finn called me. Pudgy hand in mine. Melting reservations. Nights. We'd collapse. Jake's arm heavy. Best mess ever. But integration jarred. Finn's trauma surfaced in tantrums. Night terrors screaming, "Don't leave." Therapy for all. Circles and lamplight. Jake sharing his closet fears. Me my outsider aches. Finn drawing stick figure families. Progress slow. Precious first, "I love you" from him. Over pancakes. Our hearts full. Family rallied. Dad babysitting. Spoiling with fishing tales. Tom and partner adopting too. Uncles sinking playdates. Mom knitted blankets. Wisdom wrapped. Love heals crooked. Career currents. Pooled me Provincetown residency extended. Book of sketches echoed. Loves inked. Jake's podcast hit charts. Invites to TEDx. Voice steady on stages. Confessions save lives. But spotlight scorched. Media twisted his story. Straight to gay. The fishing trip that changed everything. Clickbait headlines. Interviews probing. Regrets. He shut down one. Live. Only not loving louder. Backlash. Surged hate mail. Doxing attempts. We fortified. Locks changed. Community watches. Romance adapted. Tinder and fragments. Date nights swapped for park picnics. Finn napping between. One anniversary. Lake cabin rented. Sitter secured. We recaptured youth rod's cast. Then bodies entwined by firelight. Slow and knowing. Still echoes. He murmured. Fingers tracing my wedding band. Louder now. Drama domestic peaked with Finn's school start. Kindergarten bullies taunting. Two dads weird. He came home bruised. Lip quivering. They said wrong. Jake's rage simmered. Coaching drills. I painted fury into abstracts. Red swirls. PDA meeting confrontation. Parents defensive. But Jake spoke calm. Families vary. Love's the constant. Allies emerged. Diverse parents uniting. Anti-bully workshop born. Finn thrived. Friendships blooming. His resilience ours. National storms raged. Elections polarizing. Rights rolled back in states. Fear chilling air. We marched with Finn and Carrier. Tiny sign, family strong. Tear gas again. But unity fiercer. Jake testified in Albany. Voice breaking on youth suicides. One confession by water saved me. Imagine for all. Bills passed. Protections shored. Personal gay can. Jake's book tour clashed. My touring exhibit months apart. Call strained. Miss your laugh. He'd say. Static crackling. Loneliness gnawed. Doubts whispered during a solo night in Chicago. Bar lights blurring faces. Faithful. But ache real. Texted him raw. Need you. He flew out. Surprising in the lobby. Arms crushing. Always. Reconciliation heated. Hotel sheets witness to reaffirmation. Finn's milestone school play. Tree in family tree. He beamed on stage. Branches linking us all. Post-show. Lake ritual, casting wishes. Happy family. His line plopped true. Years layered. Finn 7. Soccer star under Jake's wing. Art prodigy sketching like me. Echoes evolved, not just confession. But life's chorus losses, dad's passing. Quiet by our side. Wins, national award for Jake's work. Humanity's value, love's persistence. Stories bridging divides. Now, by water's edge. Finn asks. Tell the story again. Jake starts. Hook flying. Once. A fish pulled truth. I join. Voices weaving. Echoes eternal. Finn's questions grew sharper with age. Probing the spaces between our words like a line testing depths. At 10. He cornered us post-dinner. Fork stabbing peas. Why'd it take so long for you to love each other? Jake and I exchanged glances over the kitchen table. Cabin lamplight soft on his freckled curiosity. Fear. Buddy. Jake said, ruffling his hair. Big as that lake monster. But truth hooks you back. I nodded, adding, and love's the reel that pulls you in steady. He grinned. Satisfied. scampering off to forts in the yard. At 30, we'd traded youth's frenzy for this parental rhythm. Love matured like fine whiskey, warm and complex,